Welcome to the Bank First Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight on Northwest Community College. And you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour. Now, here's your host, Gary Darby.
Well, happy Thursday to you, my friends. I am glad you're with us on this Thursday. It is a May 9th, 2024 edition of the Bank First Ranger Hour. We've got a couple of musical guests that are going to join us on the show today, and I had an opportunity to talk to both Hunter Bobo, who is with Sow and Tether, and Colton Dixon a little earlier. We had to do a little taping for both of these guys, and so we'll play some of that for you coming up on our program today. We hope you enjoy listening to the conversation and then prepare yourself for the event as they will be performing at the Heindl Center on the 17th. So details all coming up on our show today. 662-426-1093. That's the text message line, 662-426-1093. If you want to be involved with us, you can. At any point in time, just chime in. Facebook page, North Mississippi Spotlight with Gary Darby. But today, we're going to discuss things in and around Northwest Community College and a May 17th performance at the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts. And a couple of Christian music artists. First, the band Sow and Tether, which is a North Mississippi group that will open up that night. And then you get Colton Dixon, who performs after that. So we'll hear from Hunter Bobo, who is a member of Sow and Tether, and then Colton himself in interviews that we have. Off and going. This is what we call the Bank First Ranger Hour. It is 11 minutes after 9, and next, the conversation with Hunter Bobo. Sow and Tether will tell you about that group, about Hunter, about what you might be able to listen to coming up at the Heindl Center in a few days.
This hour is everything Northwest. Your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College and powered by Bank First. Thanks for joining us on the Bank First Ranger Hour. Join the conversation now by texting 662-426-1093.
Hey, a little bit later on in the program, we'll talk with Colton Dixon. We'll get the Dove Award winner on the program to talk about what he's going to do at the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts on the 17th. But the group that will open before Colton hits the stage is called Sow and Tether. And Hunter Bobo is on with me. And small world, I know, look, it's North. You guys are from North Mississippi, and I know we have probably been in and around the same circles together. But I find it interesting, off the mic here, so to speak, we were talking Memphis Grizzlies and things along the way. Hunter, welcome to the program. How you doing, dude?
Man, doing so good. So good to talk to you, Mr. Gary.
So give us some things on you and the group itself, kind of when you guys got started playing together, and then when you get done with that, if you don't mind, how did you come up with the name for the group?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Hunter Bobo. Obviously, I songwrite and play a little bit of guitar and sing for this group, Sow and Tether, and it's a group of 5 guys that we've come together. We've been together now for quite a few years, kind of born out of, to be honest with you, I've been the worship pastor at Redeemer Baptist Church in Olive Branch, Mississippi for the last 10 to 12 years. Been there since the church started with about 12 people in the back of a McAllister's Deli where we started core group meetings, and we've grown into a good, healthy 200 to 250 person congregation in Olive Branch, Mississippi. And to be honest, the band was kind of born out of an opportunity to write songs truly just for our own local congregation. And what we came to find out is that there's other musicians here in the area at other local churches that wanted to be a part of a similar effort. So just kind of growing up playing music in the area, we had 2 other guys So the group, if I could kind of put us together, myself, John Gaines, and Kyle Seegers, we are all from Redeemer Baptist Church, but then we have two other guys that are a part of this band. Josh Green from Getwell Church in South Haven, but now he's actually worship pastor at a separate campus in Hernando for Getwell, and then Stephen McNeil, who is a part of Vintage Church in Horn Lake. So we kind of take up, we have our stamp kind of all around the county of DeSoto County. And, man, we've been together for quite a while, writing, recording, putting out music, and playing live together for quite some time. We kind of came up with that name, Sow and Tether, as an effort to just sort of communicate very quickly what it is that we do. So we are sowing the seed of the gospel, and all along the way trying to make sure everything that we're writing and putting on paper, putting on a record, is tethered to the gospel. So that's really where the name comes from. It's just two words that operate as functions for what it is that we're doing anytime that we record or, for all intents and purposes, go out and play live. So, yeah, that's kind of who we are.
So, Hunter, describe the feeling that you must have and all of the people who started the Redeemer Baptist Church, and you were in a McAllister's, and now to the numbers that you have, and what that means to you, and how it has all changed, maybe, and what you do is maybe your music and things. Can you follow what I'm getting at there?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, it's kind of interesting. We, over the course of the last 10 to 12 years as a church, we have grown, but to be honest with you, Gary, it's been wonderful to see that we have grown at a very slow and steady rate.
Yeah.
I also own my own pool company, and we have grown very, very fast. And I can tell you, to grow quickly is a very burdensome task sometimes. So to see this church body grow at a very slow, but what I would say very healthy rate, has actually been really nice, because it seems like all along the way, we're like taking on new family members. I really get to know who it is that's walking in and out of the doors. We get to know their soul. We get to know their intermediate family. We get to know, what are their kids' names, all of that stuff. Really get to know the people that are coming in. And in the midst of that, it's just been so rewarding, to be honest with you. I can honestly tell you, being the worship pastor of this church for as long as I have been, a lot of times when you get to know people, the more you get to know them, like the less you end up liking about them. That's actually gone exactly the opposite for Redeemer Baptist Church, man. I consider it just an honor, to be honest with you, to be able to lead us in music week to week and to get to shepherd these people with what it is that, we talk about it a lot. You might remember some of the sermon from week in, week out at any given church, but a lot of times what you're singing week in, week out is really what sort of stamps your heart and what you remember for a lifetime. So to get to have the opportunity to lead these people, to get to know them, and to be able to think of each of them all the more honorably, actually, as time has gone on, is really a testimony to just what the Lord has done at Redeemer Baptist Church over the course of the time that we've been together. Yeah.
So, Hunter, you're opening up here for Colton Dixon on the 17th. Besides the weekly in your own churches along the way, how many times do you guys actually get out and perform in an event like this?
Yeah, so we've probably slowed up a bit, I'd say, over the course of the last 2 or 3 years, simply due to the fact that, every one of us, we are genuinely at our local congregations leading week in, week out. We have pastoral duties. Josh is on staff and has a shepherding role at his church. Stephen also has the same. So everybody's kind of spread out, and that's not even getting into the weeds of being good husbands, being good fathers, all that stuff. So we really try to keep our priorities straight. But at the same time, like when we get opportunities, like what an unbelievable opportunity it's going to get to be in Senatobia with Colton Dixon, a guy that has really made a name for himself. He's a Dove Award winner. All that is such a cool opportunity for us, and we've gotten different opportunities like that. We've gotten to play with Ellie Holcomb in the past. We've gotten to play for Christian rapper Tadashi in the past. So we've gotten our chances here and there to just kind of see our music reach out to various people, but we are somewhat selective in what it is that we will and won't do. Not because we do or don't want to do things, but rather just trying to really make sure that at the same time we are being there's so many firsts that we all have. Like, it seems like we have priorities ahead of us and everything seems so important. But among those top things are making sure, that we're loving our wives well, we're loving our churches well, and then when we get the opportunity to go out and play music live, we always still get to do it, and we don't have to do it, if you know what I mean. So we do get to play fairly often. We travel around a decent bit, but at the same time, we've as 30-somethings with a lot of responsibilities on our plate, we just have to be kind of we have to make sure we're saying we're making our yes and our no, if you know what I mean.
Makes perfect sense. Hunter Bobo was with us. Sow and Tether. So you mentioned a couple of other names, and that's kind of where I was going next. We know that there is, contemporary music. We have Christian rock, we have Christian rap, we have a little of all genres kind of mixed in and whatnot. When we listen to Sow and Tether, what will we hear?
Yeah, I would actually say a lot of our music preferences, I don't often, I guess, I don't know, man, you're so in the weeds of it that a lot of times you don't sit there and think, where is all this actually coming from? But I'm a huge fan of just good songwriting, to be honest. So while in some ways, and I hope that just barely comes out in our songs, but as far as a songwriter standpoint, I think that my songwriting preferences and whatnot, sort of my heroes in songwriting from a Christian perspective, probably come from a lot of dead guys, being like Isaac Watts and Charles Spurgeon, and these men that, they've written songs that, Fanny Crosby, that it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. And then a lot of my songwriting preferences probably come a lot of times from a secular world, to be honest with you. So that could look like a man like John Prine. That could look like, a more contemporary Jason Isbell. People like that I'm like, man, how did they put all that together? How did they tell the story with the limited syllables that they had and do so in a way that was just so beautifully scripted, That's now, as far as music goes, I think that we would probably trend towards something like a Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, to try to put it in terms of things people have heard, sort of, it is rock, but with sort of a country leaning, I guess you'd say.
Sure.
Chris Stapleton-esque, I think, would probably be a good way to look at that. It would be ridiculous for me to compare us to somebody like a juggernaut that is Chris Stapleton, but he definitely, when we're sitting there talking about songwriting or the way we're going to piece together a song, the way he puts albums together, I think, is a really good testimony to maybe how we try to do things. We are from Mississippi, and we just love letting people know that we are, just to be honest with you. I think that it's a unique place to live, and I think that, when you hear me sing, I'm just fine with you hearing that I've got a drawl on my voice. I'm just fine with people when they hear Kyle or Josh Green play guitar. They're like, man, I bet you they come from a rural setting. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We wear it proudly. So, yeah.
And so last thing before I let you go on to the rest of your day, and then we look forward to the 17th, Are there ways that now that our listening audience here today can go get a little sneak peek of what you guys do so they can gather a little bit more information for themselves, do their own hunting, so to speak?
Oh, absolutely, and yes, I hope that people do. You'll see that over the years, a lot of times the way that we've operated is putting out singles over the course of the last 10 years or so. You can you can find us anywhere that you would stream music, whether that be Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp. We have plenty of stuff hanging out on YouTube. Basically anywhere that you would find any artist. Where you would find Colton Dixon, you're going to find Sow and Tether, I can promise you.
That's Hunter Bobo. May 17th, big day going on the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts stage in the campus of Northwest. Hunter, thanks for being on the show today.
Gary, I can't thank you enough, sir. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about what it is that we do.
And we'll listen to a discussion with Colton Dixon coming up on the other side of the break.
Come out, brother. Come out, sister. That grave was just a bed. See the dawn drive out deepest darkness, guiding you to walk in faith each step. Come you hungry, come you thirsty, and taste the bread of life. Let it fill you, let it thrill you. His well will not run dry. Isn't it good news? Seeing the wretched redeemed, seeing sin's filth washed clean, seeing enslavement free. We've been justified, we're being sanctified, till we're glorified. Oh, isn't it good news?
Thanks for listening to the Bank First Ranger Hour, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College on SuperTalk Mississippi 93.7 and streaming live at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour.
Well, we thank Hunter Bobo of Sow and Tether for being on our program there earlier, the opening act for things going on at the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts. After they are done, Colton Dixon takes the stage. Dove Award winner. Many of you will remember him, those that watch American Idol, and now he's been plugging along and doing good things in the music business for a while. Colton, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
So I know you've probably answered this a million times, but here we go, right? When you were a part of the whole American Idol, the whole run and on the shows, and you're doing the things you do, and it comes to an end, and then you get into your music, what is it about you and others on that show that have kind of moved into the Christian music world? There's a lot of American Idol alums that are in that business.
There are, and, actually just not to take a left turn here, but actually just found out this morning that Mandisa went to be with the Lord last night. So prayers up for her friends and family, and that was a heavy one this morning. She's a sweetheart, and excited to see her again one day. But yeah, I think that for a lot of American Idol contestants, music is so intertwined with church, so I think even if you don't go into the Christian music business, I think a lot of people would say they got their start singing in church, and that's kind of where they fell in love with music, and that's true for me, for sure. And I think maybe the difference is I just kind of kept going to church and kept sticking with Jesus, and man, I can't not share my experience with the Lord with other people. It's been such a huge and important part of my life that I think needs to be heard. So that's why I do what I do, and I'm honored that I get to do it.
How early in your life were you singing, playing, performing, and doing the things that you do?
Man, I started pretty young. Started taking piano when I was 7 or 8 years old, which is about when I decided to be a follower of Jesus as well, and then I remember playing piano. My sister started singing before I did, and so I played a song behind her in church. Gosh, I had to have been 8 or 9, and then remember started singing about 13 years old, and man, as soon as I started singing, it's like I knew that music was going to be a big part of my life and my story. So started really young.
Obviously, you've had a lot of hits that have come your way in the business, but tell us about the success of Build a Boat and about that song in particular, if you don't mind, and just kind of lead us through that journey, what it has meant to you, and the fact that so many people around the world love that song.
Man, well, first of all, I'm so grateful that this song has resonated with so many people like it resonated with me. This song kind of was an unconventional way of writing a song, at least for me. So this song kind of pre-existed before I got my hands on it. That happens sometimes in the music business. People write a song and then they pitch it to artists. And however, the song was about something very different. Still a great song, but it was kind of about me and like my significant other. Let's get away from the world. Let's build a boat and sail away. Get away from this crazy world that we live in. Especially since 2020. And like I said, great song. But I thought maybe there was a even better story to tell. So, like I said, growing up in church, I've heard the Noah story since I can remember. And obviously a song titled Build a Boat, that's where my head goes. So we opened up the Bible and read that story, and what was so cool is reading it now as an adult, I realized that I was more impressed with the way Noah conducted himself and his obedience to what God asked him to do versus all the visual elements of that story, which it's a very visual story. You've got all the animals, the ark, you've got the rainbow, the flood, all these things. But man, the Bible says that Noah was just obedient, and he did everything exactly the way God asked him to. And it kind of challenged me, honestly. Sometimes I wrestle with God, or I try to bargain, or I lose patience in waiting on his timing. And here was a guy who just did what he said to do. So I realized, I'm like, man, I want to have faith like Noah. And so let's maybe write this song with that perspective. So no matter what it takes, I want to be in line with what God's plan for me is. So bring on the rain, bring on whatever is coming my way, because I'm going to be ready and prepared. And I love that so many people have, like you said, kind of adopted this song as their own. And it's been a really fun one to sing with everyone every night.
Colton Dixon talking with us, and we will have that opportunity to listen to his music and a lot of different things that we won't be able to touch on here in a short interview. How did your becoming a dad, did it change your music? Did it influence things? Obviously, it changed life for you, but what and how have you incorporated that into what you do with your music?
Yeah, I think like my music career, I guess you would say, or music in general, is kind of just an extension of who I am. And, what you see on stage with me is kind of what you get backstage. I'm pretty much the same, but I think having kids has just deepened my perspective on life in general. So music obviously is an extension of that. It deepened my relationship even with the Lord and given me fresh perspective on what that looks like. And, I feel like they've taught me more than I've, taught them. They're just so sweet. And, it just makes you realize life is so precious. And it's wild, too. Every time I leave to go play a show or to head out on tour, when I come back, I'm like, man, I left, it wasn't even a week ago, but holy cow, you guys have grown up so much. I swear you're an inch taller. What is happening? It's really wild, but we're trying to soak in all those little moments now. They're 3 still, so they're still pretty young, but we're having a good time, and I'm really thankful for that perspective perspective, for sure.
Colton in Senatobia at the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts on May 17th. So can you give us maybe some perspective on your newer music and some of the things that the people may hear when they listen to you in Senatobia?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, really excited. This isn't even public knowledge yet, but we're going to be playing a new song May 17th. I've been out on the road with a buddy of mine, Jordan Felice, on a tour since, last fall. And this is like the first show post that tour. So we're going to be throwing some new music at you. There'll be a brand new song coming out here in just a couple weeks. So we're really excited to play that. But if you've not gotten ears yet on my music, it's really fun, and I would say it's outside of the box for your typical Christian music. But my mission or my goal is just, man, I just want to deposit some hope into you. I want to love on you. I want to leave you better than you were before you press play, and share a little bit about how I've overcome some things in my own life, and hope that it encourages you to do the same. So, if you want to have a good night and enjoy some fun music, we got everything from, I play piano, so we strip it down to just me and keys, but then we also do some of the rock stuff as well. So if you want a good, diverse night, come on out. It'll be a lot of fun.
Sounds great. Colton, thanks for your time today. Safe travels, and then we'll see you in the May 17th area in North Mississippi, okay?
Hey, sounds good. Looking forward to it.
We'll finish up this Bank First Ranger Hour in just a few. Hold on, people.
I've been wandering through the desert, ain't seen a cloud in forever over me, but I believe your rain is coming. Yeah, I've been hanging on to high hopes, 'cause you're the one who's making dry bones come to life. You're the light I put my trust in. Every word you say is gonna come true. You will lead me to the promised land. Everything you say is gonna happen, even though I haven't seen it yet. I will build a boat in the sand where they say it never rains. I will stand up in faith. I'll do anything it takes. With you in my sails, your love never fails or fades. I'll build a boat in the desert place, and when the flood and the water starts to rise, yeah, I'll ride the storm, 'cause I got you by my side. With you in my sails, your love never fails or fades. I'll build a boat, so let it rain.
We're talking Rangers this hour. Thanks for joining us for the Bank First Ranger Hour. It's a special conversation about Northwest Community College. There's a campus near you, and you can join the conversation by texting to 662-426-1093.
Time to finish up today's Bank First Ranger Hour. We thank Hunter Bobo, Sow and Tether, and Colton Dixon for recording those interviews with us earlier and giving us an opportunity to hear from them, to talk about the group that is Sow and Tether, the individual that's Colton Dixon, and some of the music that you will hear at the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts. We played the one from Sow and Tether after the interview with Hunter Bobo, and that last bit of music that led us into this commercial break was Colton. So it's Colton Dixon featuring an opening performance by Sow and Tether. It comes up on the 17th, and tickets are available for that. You go to heindlcenter.org. You can click on the event and get the tickets for that. It's a 7:30 start on Friday, May 17th at the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts. You can check all of that out, plus the other events that are going on throughout the summer. And there are announcements and things that are going in and around the future for this Performing Arts Center. Things like the names of, Jeff Foxworthy and different things like that you are seeing that are going to be making their way through the North Mississippi area in dates to come. So you can go and check that out. And by the way, maybe you're thinking you need a Mother's Day gift. Well, there are plenty of things Mom might want to go and see and take part in. Maybe even this event that we just highlighted on the program today. Gift cards are available. You can do all that you want. ticket-wise and more by going to HeindlCenter.org. But one other thing I need to get to with Northwest before we're done here is what is called the Ranger Start Camp. And moms, dads, maybe you're looking for something for your 3rd through 8th grader to do in the month of June early on. It was a great success last year. They did 3 days of this start camp last year, and it's going to go for a full, now June 10th through 14th. So they'll get a full Monday through Friday in this year. And this year's camp is going to focus on physics, biology, art, civil engineering, robotics, and athletics. And it takes place every afternoon, and then they'll have a little fun on that final Friday. They're going to have fun learning, don't get me wrong, but water activities and such as that to finish up the day. And so there will be Northwest faculty, coaches, and staff helping the campers to challenge themselves and expand the ideas. And again, this year's Northwest Start Camp will be focusing on physics, biology, art, civil engineering, robotics, and athletics. And the camp fee is $200. It is, again, June 10th through the 14th, 7:30 until 4 o'clock. And there'll be great people there helping them out on the Northwest campus. So if you have a 3rd through 8th grade student trying to look for something educational and fun and close by to do, June 10th through 14th, check out the Ranger Start Camp. You can go online at northwestms.edu and get all of that information. Bank First Ranger Hour. Boy, we thank Bank First for all they do, and we appreciate them being involved in a lot of the things we do in and around here, but especially being the presenting sponsor of what we do on Thursdays with Northwest Community College. With that, I leave you. We'll come back. We'll do the North Mississippi Spotlight tomorrow. Jake Thompson's in studio with me with more sports. We'll update you on the high schools. We'll get you into the college world. We'll do a little bit of everything we can on a Friday program. Have a good Thursday. So long.
Now the time has come for leaving, fear now we shall return. We were so glad we